Today's postcard is alive with British history and heritage. It's from the Tower of London.
You're nicked.
It's a fair cop. It was in 1078 that William the Conqueror decided he wanted to build the Tower of London, although it probably wasn't called that then, but it was certainly called the White Tower, which is where it all began, just behind me.
Now, you might not know this, but the Tower of London is actually in the county of Middlesex, as it's just outside the city itself. A palace and fortress for over 900 years, much is known of the tower's bloody history, and it is renowned worldwide as a royal prison and home to some of the most famous diamonds on Earth. There is more to the tower, however, than just a state prison and jewellery box. At different times in its past, the tower has been home to the Royal Arsenal, Royal Mint, Royal Observatory, and even the Royal Zoo. Its first tour of duty, however, was as a royal palace, fortress and home to the new monarch William the Conqueror, he of the Battle of Hastings. The tower originally formed part of the Roman settlement of Londinium, but its known royal history begins with William in 1066, when the new monarch ordered the building of a wooden castle as part of the fortifications to help secure London, the chief city of his new kingdom. 10 years on, the king transformed the fort into a great stone fortified palace with walls 15 feet thick, which was then known as the Tower of London. 900 years later, that original fort is now the White Tower, but the fortress, much enlarged over the preceding centuries, still dominates London, covering some 18 acres and containing often unique glimpses of royal history stretching way back. The tower, or palace, is made up of a group of buildings which include St Thomas's Tower, the Wakefield Tower and the Lanthorn Tower. It was begun by Henry III in 1220 and subsequently enlarged by his son Edward I, who created a new water gate which enabled the monarch to enter the tower from the Thames. Now known as Traitor's Gate, it has since seen the arrival of many kings and queens, and not all of them were looking forward to their stay at the tower.
Tales of murder and mystery here at the Tower of London. In there, the Wakefield Tower is where King Henry VI was stabbed to death in the Wars of the Roses by, well, the same man who suffocated the princes here in the bloody tower. You know him, you got him, Richard III.
Stories of many prisoners suffering in deep dungeons and torture chambers are exaggerated, although the tower did occasionally find room for the king's enemies. In fact, Guy Fawkes was brought here to be tortured over his involvement in the gunpowder plot, and the last prisoner was Rudolf Hess, who stayed at the tower for 4 days awaiting his fate in 1941.
I found myself a 100% munching, fully proteined beefeater. And his name's Mick Casson. Mick, beefeaters, where'd they get their name from?
They say it's because in the reign of Henry VIII we were paid in beef from the royal table. A rich commodity which we obviously thoroughly enjoyed.
And why are you only at the Tower of London and nowhere else?
We are warders. The full title is yeoman warders. Yeoman, freemen. We owe allegiance only to the Queen, and we ward the tower. So by the very nature of the name, we are here at the tower.
And Gilbert and Sullivan, of course.
And Gilbert and Sullivan, yeah.
Yeoman of the Guard.
We've got them on next year here, apparently. So.
And what do you eat?
Sausage, egg, bacon, and occasionally beef.
Thanks, Mick.
Now, Bazza, tomorrow I want 6 extra pints. Oh, and yoghurts. We're having a bit of a beefeaters bash. All right then, see you tomorrow then, Reg. Watch out for them ravens on your way round back to Bloomsbury, Bazza. All right then, see ya. Cheerio. Whoops, he's got a little bottle. Legend has it that when the Royal Observatory was housed in the White Tower, the Astronomer Royal complained to Charles II that the birds were interfering with his observations. The king therefore ordered their destruction, only to be told if the ravens left the tower, the White Tower would fall and a great disaster would befall the kingdom. Sensibly, the king changed his mind and decreed that at least 6 ravens should be kept at the tower, always to prevent disaster. Prisoners at the tower are expected to pay their way. Fees payable to the constable or lieutenant of the tower for the suit of his irons, being shackled in the tower, range from £20 a year for a duke to £5 a year for a knight. This, however, did not even cover food and accommodation, for which prisoners of the rank of knight and above were required to pay generously. What a way to go.
And this is where Anne Boleyn met her doom. She, in fact, was executed by a French swordsman. He was brought over all the way from France because she had such a slender neck. She didn't want the axe, so she had a sword. And this place of execution was only for the nobility, so very few people were actually executed here. Apart from Queen Anne Boleyn, there was Margaret, Countess of Salisbury, the oldest person to be executed here, Queen Catherine Howard, another wife of Henry VIII, he really did get through them, Jane Viscountess Rochford, Lady Jane Grey, the uncrowned queen of just 9 days, Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex, Elizabeth I's favourite, and Lord Hastings was also executed round here. He was a great warrior lord from the Wars of the Roses. And this is the spot. Sir Walter Raleigh was imprisoned here for 12 years, and this was how he got his exercise, Raleigh's Walk. Not much space, but plenty of walking. And of course he had plenty of time in which to write his famous The History of the World.
Up, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4. Come on, you lot, get a move on. Line up, line up. Right. That's it. Right, just have a look over here, and back to you. Now, it's come to my notice that one of you two was supporting Millwall last night against Charlton Athletic. Come on, own up. I'll find the evidence on you. What's this? What's this? Look at that, an old football programme. You won't get away with it, son. All right? All right? Good. Right. Just be careful. Well, I'm off to watch Chelsea now.
This is where they keep Britain's hot rocks, and these gents are the guardians of them.
Some jewels have always been kept here, but most of the regalia currently on display dates from the Restoration in 1660. Following the execution of Charles I in 1649, Parliament ordered the coronation ornaments to be brought here from Westminster Abbey and the precious metals melted down for coinage. However, some of the original items reappeared at King Charles II's coronation. The lower half of St Edward's crown is thought to be made up from a medieval crown belonging to Edward the Confessor. And here's the sovereign's ring. This ring was made for the coronation of William IV and Queen Adelaide in 1831. And what about the sovereign sceptre? Dating from 1661, this sceptre is set with 393 gemstones, including the first star of Africa. No, not Meryl Streep, but the world's largest cut diamond. And there's lots of other treasures at the tower too, including this Flemish bronze gun. And according to one tradition, there's even buried treasure. Sir John Barkstead, goldsmith and lieutenant of the tower under Cromwell, was thought to have hidden a large amount of money, some say £20,000 in gold coins, somewhere here. Before his arrest and execution, he buried it. The diarist Samuel Pepys took part in several searches for the gold, as have a number of enthusiastic governors. But Barkstead's treasure remains hidden to this day.
In 1674, the bones of 2 young children were found underneath this staircase. They were removed and placed in Westminster Abbey. It was thought they were the bones of the 2 princes who were murdered in the Bloody Tower. But were they the princes? Will we ever know?
Well, that's your lot for today. You can't say that you haven't had enough of your British history as we have revolved around the tower. Well, I'm up in the air now, and I've got to fly. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.